In the second part of Chapter 8, we'll talk about social media and technology that is arising from social media use. So social media. Social media is essentially a form of Web 2.0, user-generated content. Really, it's neither. In fact, social media is our future. Social media is a group of internet-based applications that build on the ideological and technological foundations of Web 2.0 technology, and that allow the creation and exchange of user-generated content. So it's not one or the other. It's essentially building upon Web 2.0 technology and gives us the ability to create our own content. Social media, oftentimes you can look out for jobs in really any field, but sport is a good example, where there are jobs specifically for social media interns or social media directors or something like that. The reason is because social media has brought so many innovations. Just look at the sports media's job. Anybody who is in charge of being a sports information director or a media relations specialist for a team no longer has to just create game notes or a story or a press release. They're also in charge of managing the team's social media accounts. New innovations make journalist jobs a lot easier, such as cell phones and tablets and applications, creates new ways for fans to interact with content providers. Again, the content providers being those players, coaches, and administrators. But we see sports information directors, also known as SIDs, are having to pick up more duties. Our print media, for example, is starting to reduce the number of people who are employed by those newspapers because readership is going down. However, they're expected to do the same job. So sports information directors' jobs are to make print media's job easier. Sports information directors are employed by the team or the organization to try to promote or get the media to cover the sporting event. New media outlets. There's been a big shift from the big three, the ABC, NBC, CBS's, to regional networks or even online niche blogs, blog sites or video producers. New video media, so fans can now communicate back through video and message boards. That's something we didn't see in new media 10 years ago was YouTube and the impact it's had on our ability to communicate with one another. But the whole point is social media is really changing the way that we interact with our consumers. Many times we do this on the go and through smartphones. So let's just look at a couple statistics. These are statistics based on 1 million active users per month. Facebook and Twitter are listed there. You can see that that is about 1,100 million active users on Facebook, and between 300, it's probably closer to 400 million now, users on Twitter. You can see LinkedIn and Pinterest are also up there, but not as popular as Facebook. Looking at the next slide, we're looking at trends in Facebook and Twitter usage. In 2009 is the blue number, 2010 is the yellowish orange, and the green is 2013. You can see a huge jump in the mid-2000s or end of 2000s and early 2010s in the use of Facebook and in Twitter. The prevalence of social media we see today, if you just do a Google search, shows that Facebook and Twitter are the two most top searched for websites as of 2009. In 2009, Facebook had 350 million users, and in 2010, Twitter had 60 million users and 10 billion tweets since the inception in March of 2010. And so why is social media so important for us in sport and help us cover the sport? Is because now journalists can send quick messages to consumers about stories and links to stories. The ultimate goal is to drive traffic to their website and to their content, either to the game or to their website. Either way, drawing attention. Social media gives them the ability to do that. Social media is also used for marketing in a lot of ways. Individual teams have their own Facebook and Twitter pages, their own individual networks. So you look at the Big Ten Network or the Longhorn Network, NBC Sports Network, whatever it may be, now has their own social media accounts, which are trying to drive traffic to their content. You also see the ability to keep up with good and up-to-date information just in sports industry itself on the business side. Seth Godin or Bill Sutton are two of the industry leaders in understanding sports marketing. So if you are on social media, look them up. They've got great Twitter posts about marketing and sports marketing as well. Looking at how athletes are involved in social media. The involvement of athletes and coaches really were not a part of the old communication model, and now in our new model, which we mentioned at the beginning, has given us the ability for athletes to do their own press conferences on Twitter, answer their own questions, and spin their own messages out to consumers, which then gives us as marketers a more difficult, sometimes more difficult to control our own branded message. Social media today, we see PR specialists that have to use social media during crisis management, covering sensitive issues on social media, how I go about representing my organization while leaving out any biased opinions and only stating the facts in a positive manner. Also, making sure that false information is made right. Social media is oftentimes seen as being fact. Leagues and conferences using their own social media. This is a good example right here. Is not the greatest quality image now that I'm looking at it, but Shaquille O'Neal was one of the first athletes to really use social media. This is back when he was playing. Said, "I'm in Miami on the beach, so whoever touches me gets 2 tickets. You have 30 minutes." Another scenario, he was sitting in a square in Portland and said, "Hey, the first person touches me gets 2 courtside seats." Somebody came by within a few minutes, was following his Twitter feed, got 2 courtside seats, got to meet Shaquille O'Neal. It's an example of athletes engaging with consumers through their social media. Jokingly, this is some funny Oprah got on. "Hi, Twitters. Thank you for a warm welcome. Feeling really 21st century." And Shaquille basically tweeted at her and says, "Your caps are on, by the way." So athletes engaging with other entertainment figures as well. Social media is a big part of our social identity. Social identity, again, is we as consumers do things, behaviors that say something about who we are as consumers and as people. The things I purchase and the media that I use says something about who I am and my identity. Social media plays a big part in that. And so teams use social media for consumers' retention and target marketing. I can now geo-target somebody based on characteristics in their profile. I can say that if somebody is interested in baseball and I am a minor league baseball team and they're in my geographical region, I can send them targeted promotional messages to try and encourage sales. Send them coupons or fan club invitations and getting rights to tickets. I am able to reach consumers with a lot of different interests, right? I only use the internet to learn about media. If that's me, or learn about things going on in society, hearing the news, then I, as a news producer, need to understand that consumer and try to attract them. Twitter, for example, the ways it's been used is through fantasy sports. So many times people tweeting about fantasy sports and the interactivity that you have with other people in your fantasy sports league. Teams, third-party organizations, and athletes have all used applications of Twitter to help their marketing campaigns. And for purposes of our class, the international reach that Twitter has is important, as well as Facebook. Other social medias are starting to pop up. Not sure where they're going to go. LinkedIn has become more the professional network where you can connect with people within your field. It's more professional Facebook. Pinterest is another example of how do we use Pinterest to our advantage, or Instagram for that matter. And Snapchat. Many organizations are now trying to figure out how to use Snapchat and Snapchat filters to learn more about how to connect with their consumers to sell their product.